Ladies, let me ask you something real quick. How many times have you looked back at a relationship and thought, wow, I should have seen that lie coming? Maybe it was the smooth talk, the sweet words, the way he made you feel like you were the only woman in the world, but then, somewhere down the line, the truth slapped you right in the face. And let's be honest, you didn't see it coming because you didn't want to. You wanted to believe him. Well, that ends today because I'm about to expose the 6 biggest lies men tell women. And once you recognize these, honey, you'll never waste your time on the wrong man again. Let's get into it. When a man says, I'm not looking for anything serious right now, but let's see where things go. He's not being mysterious or playing hard to get. He's telling you exactly where you stand in his life. The problem is, too many women hear this and think, well, maybe if I give it time, he'll change his mind. Let me tell you something, he won't. What he's really saying is, I enjoy your company, but not enough to commit. Men know what they want. They don't accidentally fall in love. If a man truly sees you as someone special, someone he doesn't want to risk losing, he'll make that clear. He won't leave things vague. He won't dangle the possibility of a relationship like a carrot on a stick while keeping you in an undefined space. He will step up and claim you. The problem is, too many women ignore what this statement truly means. They hear, let's see where things go, and assume that if they're patient, supportive, and understanding, they'll eventually get the relationship they desire. But let's be real. If a man is serious about you, there's no need for patience or waiting game. He will show you he wants you through his actions. He'll prioritize you, make time for you, and most importantly, he won't leave you questioning where you stand. Now let's talk about why some men use this line in the first place. See, they want the benefits of a relationship, companionship, intimacy, emotional support, but without the responsibility that comes with it. They enjoy the closeness, the attention, and the comfort of having someone in their corner, but they also want the freedom to keep their options open. This is why they phrase it carefully. They don't say, I don't ever want to be with you, because that would push you away completely. Instead, they say, I'm not looking for anything serious right now, implying that there's a possibility in the future, but that future never arrives. And here's the hard truth. If he wanted something serious, he would make it happen. It's really that simple. People make time for what they truly value. If a man is saying he's not ready, it means he's not ready for you. And that's not something you can change. No amount of love, patience, or proving your worth will turn a non-committal man into a committed one. Let me give you an example. Imagine a woman named Sarah who meets a guy, Jake. They go on dates, have deep conversations, and share great moments together. But when Sarah asks where things are going, Jake tells her, I'm not looking for anything serious right now, but let's just go with the flow. Sarah, believing she just needs to be patient, sticks around. Months pass, then a year. Jake still isn't committing. Eventually, Sarah decides to walk away. And guess what? A few months later, she sees Jake in a serious relationship with someone else. What happened? It's not that Jake wasn't ready for a relationship. He just wasn't ready for a relationship with Sarah. The biggest mistake women make is thinking they can convince a man to change his mind. They hold on, waiting, hoping, believing that their patience will be rewarded. But in the end, all they do is waste time. So if a man tells you he's not looking for anything serious, believe him the first time. Don't try to decode his words or read between the lines. Take him at face value and move on. Because the right man, he won't leave you guessing. He'll let you know loud and clear that he wants you in his life, not as an option, but as a priority. When a man tells you she's just a friend, it can mean one of two things. Either she really is just a friend, or he's trying to downplay something that's more than friendship. And the problem is, too many women ignore the signs because they don't want to seem insecure or overly suspicious. But let's be real. Your gut feeling is there for a reason. A man who genuinely values and respects you will never make you feel uneasy about his female friendships. He will set clear boundaries and ensure you never have to question where you stand. But when a man is hiding something, his actions will never fully align with his words. The truth is, men sometimes keep certain female friends in their lives as backup options. Maybe they have history. Maybe she's someone he's keeping close just in case things don't work out with you. Or maybe she's someone he enjoys flirting with, even if he won't admit it. And while he may not be outright cheating, emotional cheating is just as real and just as damaging. See, there's a big difference between a genuine friendship and a hidden connection. A real friend is someone he respects, introduces to you without hesitation, and keeps within appropriate boundaries. There's no secrecy, no weird energy, no unexplained late night texts. But when a woman is more than just a friend, you'll notice the signs. He gets defensive when you bring her up. He downplays how often they talk. He suddenly puts his phone away when she messages him. He compares you to her in subtle ways. He makes excuses for why she's always around. A man who truly respects you won't need to hide anything. He won't gaslight you into thinking you're imagining things. Instead, he'll reassure you through his actions, not just his words. Now, let's talk about what happens when a woman ignores the signs. Imagine a woman named Lisa. She's been dating Mark for a few months, and everything seems great except for one thing. Mark has a female friend named Emily. He claims they've known each other for years, that she's like a sister to him, and that Lisa has nothing to worry about. But Lisa starts noticing small things. Mark never lets Lisa meet Emily, even though they spend a lot of time together. He deletes their texts, and whenever Lisa asks about her, Mark gets irritated and says, "You're overthinking it." Lisa tries to ignore her instincts, not wanting to seem paranoid. But months later, she finds out Mark and Emily had been emotionally involved the entire time. Mark had been keeping Emily close as a backup, even while dating Lisa. And when Lisa finally walked away, Mark and Emily got together almost instantly. The lesson here, when a man tells you she's just a friend, don't just listen to his words, watch his actions. A real man won't make you feel insecure about his friendships because he will do everything to make you feel safe in the relationship. But a man who's hiding something, he'll dismiss your concerns, gaslight you into doubting yourself, and keep you in the dark for as long as possible. So don't ignore your gut. If something feels off, trust yourself. The right man won't put you in a position where you have to question his loyalty. He will make it clear through his actions that you're the only woman he's emotionally invested in. When a man tells you, "I'm not like other guys," your first instinct might be to believe him. It sounds reassuring, like he's setting himself apart from the ones who have hurt you before. But here's the reality. If a man has to say it, he's probably exactly like the others. A truly good man doesn't need to convince you with words. His actions will show you everything you need to know. But when a man makes a point to tell you, "I'm different," what he's really trying to do is lower your guard. He knows that you've likely been hurt before, that you might have trust issues, and he's using this phrase as a way to fast track your trust without actually proving himself. Now, let's break this down. If a man is genuinely different, you won't need to question it. He'll prove it over time by how he treats you, how he communicates, and how consistent he is. He won't need to make grand statements about being a good guy because his character will be obvious in the way he moves. The problem is, men who use this phrase often turn out to be just like, or even worse than, the men you've dealt with in the past. See, when a man says, "I'm not like other guys," it's usually a red flag. He's trying to create an illusion that he's somehow above the typical flaws that women encounter in relationships. But here's what usually happens. He starts out charming and attentive, making you feel safe and special. He subtly reminds you that he's different, reinforcing the idea that you should trust him without question. Over time, his actions don't match his words. He starts making excuses, showing inconsistency, and repeating patterns of behavior you've seen before. And when you finally call him out, he'll say something like, "I thought you trusted me. I told you I wasn't like the others." A truly different man doesn't need to announce it. He just is. His respect, loyalty, and emotional maturity will be clear in everything he does. Now, let's look at an example. Imagine a woman named Jessica. She meets a guy named Tyler, who from the very beginning tells her, "I'm not like the guys you've dated before." He listens to her past experiences, nods with sympathy, and reassures her that he's different. At first, he seems perfect, texting her every morning, planning thoughtful dates, making her feel like she's finally found someone who understands her. But then, little things start happening. He suddenly gets distant, doesn't reply to texts as quickly, and starts canceling plans. When Jessica brings it up, he brushes it off, saying, "I've just been busy. You're overthinking it." Then, one night, she sees him flirting with another woman at a party. When she confronts him, he says, "I told you I wasn't like the others. You need to trust me." But at that moment, Jessica realizes he is exactly like the others. The lesson here? Words mean nothing without actions to back them up. A man who is truly different will never have to convince you. He'll simply be different. He'll show up, stay consistent, and treat you with the respect and care you deserve without ever needing to say, "I'm not like other guys." So the next time a man tells you this, take a step back. Watch what he does, not what he says. A real man doesn't need to sell himself. His character will speak for itself. When a man tells you, "I'm not ready for a relationship right now," what he's really saying is, "I'm not ready for a relationship with you." And that's a hard pill to swallow. But understanding this truth will save you time, energy, and emotional heartache. See, when a man meets a woman he truly wants to be with, he doesn't hesitate. He doesn't play the not ready card, because deep down, men know when they found someone worth committing to. But when a man tells you he's not ready, what he's actually doing is keeping you around while avoiding responsibility for your feelings. Now, let's break this down. A man will say, "I'm not ready for a relationship," for one of three reasons. He wants the benefits of a relationship without the commitment. This means he enjoys your company, he likes the intimacy, and he loves the attention, but he doesn't want the responsibility that comes with being your partner. He's waiting for someone he considers a better option. He may like you, but he's not in love with you. He doesn't see you as the one, but he doesn't want to let you go just in case he changes his mind. He wants an easy way out without being the bad guy. Instead of saying, "I don't see a future with you," he softens the blow by making it about timing instead of how he actually feels. The problem is, many women hear, "I'm not ready right now," and they focus on the right now part. They start believing that if they just wait, if they're patient enough, if they prove their worth, he'll eventually change his mind. But he won't, because the truth is, if he truly wanted to be with you, he wouldn't risk losing you. Now, let's look at an example. Imagine a woman named Sarah. She's been seeing a guy named Jason for 6 months. They go on dates, they spend time together, and they act like a couple. But every time Sarah brings up where the relationship is going, Jason says, "I'm just not ready for anything serious right now." Sarah tells herself that maybe he needs time, maybe he's healing from something, maybe if she sticks around, he'll realize how amazing she is. So she waits. Months go by, then a year. Then one day she finds out that Jason is suddenly in a committed relationship with someone he just met. Sarah is devastated, but the truth is, Jason was always capable of commitment. He just didn't want to commit to her. The lesson here, when a man tells you he's not ready, believe him. Don't try to change his mind. Don't waste months or years waiting for him to figure it out. If a man is genuinely not in a place to commit, that's his issue to deal with, not yours. A man who wants you will step up, not step back. He won't risk losing you, and he won't make excuses. So the next time a man tells you he's not ready, don't wait for him to be. Walk away with your head high, because the right man, the one who truly values you, won't need time to decide. He'll know. When a man tells you, I just need some space, what he often means is, I want to pull away without completely letting you go. And that right there is a dangerous game. Because while space in a relationship can be healthy, what most men really mean when they say this is that they want distance without the consequences of losing you entirely. Let's break this down. Men know that women by nature are nurturers. They understand that if they say, I need space, a woman who cares will respect that and give them time. But what happens most of the time? That space isn't about clarity or self-improvement. It's about creating just enough distance so they can explore other options, enjoy freedom, or avoid responsibility without actually breaking up. Think about it. If a man is genuinely invested in a woman, he won't risk losing her by pulling away indefinitely. But if he tells her he needs space, he's signaling that he wants a break without officially ending things. That way, he keeps the door open for whenever he decides he's ready to return on his terms. Now, here's where it gets tricky. A woman believing in his sincerity will often give him time, waiting for him to come back emotionally available and ready to commit. But more often than not, he isn't coming back the same way he left. He's tested his independence. He's possibly entertained other options, and now he returns with a different mindset. Maybe he's distant, less engaged, or even less interested. And the worst part, if she asks him why he's changed, he'll say something like, I just needed time to clear my head. Here's the truth. A man who truly loves and values you will not risk losing you for space. Instead, he'll communicate his feelings, work through challenges, and find solutions with you, not away from you. Now let's look at an example. Imagine a woman named Emily. She's been dating a guy named Chris for a year. Everything seems great until one day out of nowhere, Chris says, I think I need some space to figure things out. Emily, not wanting to push him away, agreed. She tells herself, maybe he's just overwhelmed. Maybe he needs to sort out his feelings. Weeks go by, then months. She doesn't hear much from him, but she stays hopeful. One day, she sees him tagged in a photo with another woman, looking happier than ever, and suddenly she realizes Chris didn't need space. He needed distance to slowly detach himself without the guilt of breaking up. The lesson here, when a man asks for space, watch what he does with it. If he truly needs time to process something, work stress, personal growth, emotional struggles, he'll be clear about why and will stay connected in some way. But if he suddenly disappears, stops communicating, or treats the relationship like a casual option, he's already halfway out the door. A real man won't ask for space just to create emotional confusion. He will either work things out with you or be honest enough to let you go. So if a man tells you he needs space, don't chase him, don't beg for answers, just step back, let him make his choice, because a man who truly values you won't put you in a position where you have to question your worth. When a man tells you, I'm not like other guys, what he's really saying is, I want you to believe I'm different, so you let your guard down. And that's where you need to be careful, because real character isn't in what a man says, it's in what he does. Men know that women, especially those who have been hurt before, are cautious. They know you've dealt with dishonesty, betrayal, or emotional games, and they use that to their advantage by saying, I'm not like the rest. They want you to believe that they are the exception. They want you to feel safe, special, and convinced that you won't have to deal with the same pain again. But words without action are just empty promises. Here's the truth. A man who is truly different doesn't need to tell you, he shows you. If a man is honest, loyal, and emotionally mature, you'll see it in how he treats you. He won't just say, I would never lie to you. He will be transparent. He won't just say, I'll always be here for you. He will prove it through consistency. He won't just say, I respect you. He will honor your boundaries, listen to your concerns, and treat you with kindness even when things aren't easy. But when a man loudly claims he's different, ask yourself, why does he feel the need to convince me? Because often men who emphasize how different they are end up being exactly like the ones they criticize. In fact, sometimes they're worse because they gain your trust first. They make you believe they won't hurt you, and when they do, it feels even more devastating because they sold you a lie. Now let's look at an example. Imagine a woman named Jessica. She's been talking to a guy named Ryan who constantly tells her, I'm not like those other guys who ghost or cheat. I'm different. At first, it seems true. He showers her with attention, compliments, and makes her feel safe, but over time, things start to change. Ryan starts canceling plans last minute. He doesn't respond as quickly to texts. He gets defensive when Jessica asks simple questions about where things are going. When she finally confronts him, he says, I told you I wasn't like those other guys. Why don't you trust me? And that's the moment Jessica realizes Ryan may have claimed to be different, but his actions were exactly the same as the men who hurt her before. The lesson here? A good man doesn't have to sell you on his character. He lets his actions do the talking. A truly different man will, consistent in his words and actions, take accountability when he messes up instead of making excuses. Show respect through how he listens, communicates, and treats you daily. If a man says, I'm different, but his actions don't match, believe his actions. Words are easy, but behavior never lies. A real man doesn't need to convince you. He simply proves it every day.